she got a BBL to be a teacher. Let's just say I would not be missing your class. Lego.
It's me in this empty corner. It's close my eyes, release. Breathe in the air, record it. It's worth it, I hope you like.
Miss Williams. Oh, she's so pretty.
What you have.
Damn. Damn. Whoa. 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 Okay.
Alright, enough is enough. Enough is enough. I made a video about a teacher recently, and it was more about the unprofessionalism and professional environments, and this guy trying to prance around as like the cool teacher. But this one is 10 times worse, where teachers are going to the school in club attire, posing themselves as teacher bait, and being downright disgusting and sexualizing school activities by coming to work dressed as, honestly, Tatianas. Quick little PSA and disclaimer. Yes, I am going to be in women's business. And honestly, I can, because this is disgusting and sickening. But that does not mean that we have to come into the comment section being all types of misogynistic, calling and hoes and 304s and every other slur in the book. Like, we don't have to do that. In today's society, I think we have an over-sexualization problem. Everybody is trying to look cutesy. Everybody is trying to look cool. All the lines are getting blurred between what is unprofessional, what is professional. I'm seeing people go out into the streets wearing lingerie for birthday parties or just casual fashion. And I swear to you, there's not a video on TikTok that's a OOTD where a woman doesn't stand for 4 to 5 seconds showing off her booty cheeks. And look, I'm not saying if you
Are we mad at that? Not gonna lie. I'm not necessarily one of those that hates those videos. Do I want my girl dressing like that in public? Fuck no, probably not. But is it cool to watch on social media? Of course, of course.
Don't flaunt it, but there's a way to do it modestly, and there's an appropriate time to do these things. I've been critical about this specifically in the gym, where I felt like gym attire was getting way too out of pocket. But for what it's worth, I can at least give grace to say that, hey, that was a non-children environment. This was supposed to be adults, and you can kind of say that we're working out, so maybe less clothes is okay. I don't know. It's still wrong there. But this time, it's gotten totally out of hand, because this is supposed to be a professional environment where there are children at the forefront. And this is where we introduce Teacher Bay. Boy, this country's gooned out. The woman with the oxymoronic name is a teacher who is going around posting her fits, showing off her fashion, and more importantly, displaying her body with her kids in the background in clear eye shot. Yeah, not even blurring anything. Well, she's not blurring her clothes, so I guess she would not blur her stuff right here.
Oh, look at Miss Williams. Hey, Miss Williams. It's Monday.
From head to toe, Miss Williams doesn't look like she's going to any sort of class or place of education. She looks like she's going to the club. We know that heels are uncomfortable to be standing on all day, unless you're sitting down as a teacher, which then makes me question your job. But you're specifically wearing like 6-inch heels, a purse that's matching for what? You're a teacher. You can't fit anything into these purses. And let's not forget about these tight and intentionally tight clothing that she wears. I think that all of that could probably brushed to the side if she wasn't coining the term teacher bae. Now, this isn't like the coolest teacher in Atlanta that was shown a couple videos ago, where he gave the explanation that students gave him that name. I guess so. But in this situation, this person themselves, Miss Williams, is coining themselves as teacher bae. Who are you a bae for? The principal? The janitor? The other teachers in the hallway? Or are you a teacher bae for the students?
Teacher bae is the new R. Shelley. I watched the creator say that. I fell the out. I'm gonna do this conversation today. Listen, y'all know that bitch out of line. The fact
She called her as R. Shelley.
this is a conversation is concerning to me, okay? And for y'all bitches that think she not out of line, talk about she can't help her body, y'all bitches, y'all the ones that still let y'all kids play Roblox, and y'all know what's petties on Roblox. So y'all gotta stay out of grown people conversations. This conversation ain't for y'all. For all of us adults that got common sense, we know as a teacher, you cannot be wearing that to work around kids. Why are you trying to be sexy around kids? Why is we talking about this? If a man did that, say if he had a big and then showing through his pants, and he was wearing sexy pants, and y'all bitches will fucking go the fuck.
Shawty, what the fuck is sexy pants? Niggas don't have sexy pants. And if a nigga got sexy pants, you should be concerned about his motherfucking ass.
The good old-fashioned roles reverse card. Now, I agree with everything that she said because she's absolutely correct. There were people defending these teachers saying that they can't control their bodies and their shapes, and you know, this is policing women's bodies. We shouldn't be doing this.
Y'all don't like Teacher Baby because she doesn't fit the mammy stereotype. Because you mean to tell me because she's not dressed in this muumuu right here, and she's not, you know, Miss Frizzle in that bitch, because she's not dressed like some old bitch in the middle of the fucking summer. It really do be your own people, don't it? Y'all some perverted bitches. Because y'all be the same motherfuckers that dress up as a sexy schoolgirl for Halloween. Like that tea. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all hoes are jealous. Y'all hoes are jealous because she got a fat old donk.
But those defenders fall flat to me. It's not necessarily about her shape. People have seen shapely people before. It's about the material and the care behind wearing these shapely things. I've seen dresses of some of these teachers that are sheer as hell. I've seen dresses that are tight, like, whoa.
Hey, that's kind of walking the line. Damn. But don't forget, my bad. Yeah, I'm still getting over this COVID shit, so it's not just the weed, it's COVID too. But I seen women in the club with that exact same outfit.
The spandex elastic material, stuff that's meant to hug up and squeeze on you. And hell, the teacher that I showed at the front of the video with the black dress, with the skirt, with the string up top, is intentionally drawn so it could be a higher slit in her dress. That has nothing to do with her having a badonkadonk. It has everything to do with her trying to show off her body inappropriately.
Stop always saying, oh, we can't help if our bodies is like that. We can't help. Yeah, you can. Yes, you can. You wear the proper attire. You don't have no professionalism about yourself. Why the fuck is you trying to be an office siren around kids? You do not have to wear no tight ass clothes. We all know what a bodycon dress is for. A bodycon, anything, that stretchy ass material to accentuate your curves and everything else. You wear that shit to the club. You can also wear a pencil skirt that don't hug everything like that. But of course not. You wanted everybody to see. Anybody disagreeing, you're a lying ass one.
And people are saying it's inappropriate because it is. But I think people are trying to say that people are saying it's inappropriate because of her body, which is not the case. Because as somebody who is in education and as somebody whose body is tea, I know how to dress appropriately whenever I know that I'm going to be like teaching kids for the day or I'm going to be in a classroom. But here's the fit. As you can see, you can still see my shape, my figure. As you can see, I'm wearing a skirt. But the difference is the skirt isn't bodycon, even though you can see my shape. I'm wearing a long cardigan that covers my butt. I'm wearing a shirt that covers my titties. So if I bend over, there's gonna be no cleavage. It's a full coverage outfit, and you can still tell my body is tea, but it's appropriate. It's appropriate for an education setting. And here's another one: shirt to the top, pants, shoes, and you can still tell the body's tea.
We live in a society where everybody wants things to be created equal, and in some instances there is validity to what they are saying, but this is not one of them, especially because you sought out getting that type of body with a BBL, or even if you didn't, you still know that you have a responsibility to dress a certain way to not attract a certain attention, specifically in a room full of kids. There's something to be said about the mentality of people who do this, specifically the teachers in question, and a lot of people feel like these are people who mentally peaked in high school. You know, those people that mentally peaked in high school, the guys who were jocks and now they are dude bros that can't get away from their hometown. And now we have the teacher version of that, which is the R. Shelleys or the teacher bays.
I feel like teachers are the new cops. And what I mean by that is, you know how like there's a running joke about like cops who are like super aggressive and angry, and we say that they were like college rejects, they were the kid that nobody wanted to hang out with in high school. You know how it's like a joke, you know? I feel like teachers are that now. Because why are you referring to yourself as teacher bae? And I feel like these women, because she's not the only one, there's a lot of teachers like this who teach high school, which is very alarming, who, you know, they peaked in high school, probably was dating the star football player, basketball player, thought they was about to be, you know, somebody's, you know, NFL, NBA wifey, and it didn't play out that way. And now they're looking for validation from the little kids at school because they want to feel like they're in their, you know, their prime era again.
We never went down that role reversal card, but just picture me in some sort of tight attire, leather skirt, tight gray pants with my...
Why are we picturing you in that, my nigga? Don't tell us to do that, Omar. We don't want to mentally see that shit.
Kielbasa, right? In front of kids trying to teach a class. I think if I didn't put an undershirt on and my nips was poking out while my muscles,
this nigga
I'm
tripping.
one of the diesel guys, showing in front of kids in a class. Me turning around, writing on a board with my booty cheeks showing to kids in a class. We would think that that is very, very weird behavior. I think one of the reasons why stuff like this happened is because of the peaking situation that we talked about earlier. Look, when I first got into my adult money, I did some pretty outrageous things myself. But the difference is I did not peak in high school. So I can imagine how somebody who...
But I feel sorry for niggas that peaked in high school, bro. And that's true. Niggas who peaked in high school really do be still living in that motherfucking glory. Like, bro, we don't give a fuck what you did in high school, bro. We don't give a damn. It don't matter. It don't matter what you did, what you ran, who you beat up, what kind of money you had, what you drove to school. None of that shit matters no more, bro. Nobody gives a fuck. It don't matter who you was in high school, nigga. People get out in the world and go through shit and become completely different other people. And then you be stuck in high school playing with these same folks that you probably could play with in high school, and you get your ass handed to you because they completely different fucking people. But you not, because you still stuck in fucking high school. Hey, man.
Peak in high school would be mentally stuck there, and when they finally get into their adult money, they're still chasing those dreams, you know, still buying the certain things that they potentially couldn't get or makes them relive their glory days. But the problem is you're a professional now. You're not a high schooler, and you are supposed to be a role model for these kids. But I understand now why kids are dressing a certain way, because the role models, the professional ones that they are supposed to have, are also dressing that same exact way.
I'm sitting here waiting for my daughter. As I'm sitting here watching and looking at these kids walking by, the clothes that these girls, teenagers wear to school, I cannot believe that they are not sent home. But I don't even blame the school. I blame the parents, because the kid left out the house this morning like that with a short romper jumpsuit on and flip-flops or slippers. I just saw one girl, shorts, coochie cutter shorts, like so short. I mean, I can't.
Crop tops with stomach outs, mini skirts that show a lot of thigh and go well above fingertip length, sports bras, what looks to be some sort of corset. The stuff that I'm seeing on the internet has me concerned for the future. We always were quick to blame the rappers or the models or whoever else that was on television as the supposed role models for these kids. But now we need to start looking at the teachers and of course the parents, because they are letting this stuff happen and even encouraging it by wearing it. I can only imagine Teacher Bay having a fly off or a fit off with some of their students looking the exact same way, because that's just the way that I see things on social media now, is that everybody's trying to get a fit off and there's supposed to be an adult in the room, but the adult isn't even being the adult in the room. And trust me, those photos were from high school, but it gets younger and younger and starts earlier and earlier. I know y'all have seen these adults dress their toddler children as rappers or, you know, in designer or whatever the case may be, trying to adultify them as early as possible. That's where it starts. And it gets faster and faster, earlier and more as time goes on. There's no place for these people to see professionalism. So at what point do they end up being professionals? No, never. Ultimately, I think that there's a link to the teachers and the way that they dress and predatory behavior. If you're trying to be attractive to kids, I think that shit is weird as hell. And I'm surprised that these schools aren't stepping up in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Why the hell are we letting this stuff go? But this is a PSA to any adult out there. You have the most control in your house, because it's not the music, it's not the movies, it's not all these things that were something that you could just kind of turn off and shut off, but it's infiltrating your classroom. These people are wearing these things that are supposed to be leading the classroom. And I know based off of the way these teachers are dressing, they talk and act just like these kids as well. So by God, I am fearful of everybody growing up. Now, understandably so, there are people who understand there is an appropriate time and place to wear certain things, and they dress accordingly. Shout out to Alexis Starr, who displayed how you are supposed to dress as a professional that has some sort of curvature to you. But it seems like more and more now the reins and the rules are lessening for the younger people, and that's how we're getting a society of kids who are just running amok, because it's coming from the top. It's coming from the teachers, the people that they're supposed to look to. Let's start reporting these teachers and calling them out for exactly who they are. Agree?
Put it in the comments. Let me know how you would feel if your kid's teacher, how you would feel if your kid's teacher was wearing some shit like that. If you pulled up to the school and your kid's teacher was dressed like this, how would you react? Put it in the comments. Let me know.
Shit do a nigga with money.